in our portfolio. So yeah, I think we are ready to start. Thank you very much again for joining. I will share my screen now. Today's webinar, as I said, will be about the GEODI Q, our AI and actually LLM-based solution that we have integrated with the LLM solutions. We will talk about this today. So we are now believing that we are putting a new age to data protection on data discovery and data classification side. So we are very, very excited to announce it together with you, with our beloved customers and partners all around the world. So first things that we would like to also give some idea about the newcomers, about what GEODI does. Actually, GEODI is now it's just called from Gartner as Data Security Posture Management solution. It's under umbrella of DSPM. Actually, Gartner helped us to understand this issue. The concept that they are mentioning about DSPM is to fundamental solution that identifies where the sensitive data is located, who has access to this data, and what the content of the data is, and offers insight for the security of stored data or applications. So, and eventually there are more on this with GEODI. So what GEODI does is that you can combine all the data sources that you have in your hand. You can make it searchable, which is a unique solution of GEODI rather than all other discovery and traditional discovery solutions. It can discover the sensitive data, where the data is, and where is the sensitive and personal information resides in your data sources, so you can take actions based on the sensitivity of the data, and you can classify the data. Well, the first action that comes up to mind, you can mask or you can remediate, delete, quarantine unnecessary data that you are holding in your data repository. So the issue is GEODI Data Security Posture Management Solution platform, let's say, because all of these functions are actually modules on the top of our platform. So GEODI platform helps you to identify where the sensitive data is and create an information security policy based on the data, real-time data that you have in your hand, rather than just the regulations that are mentioning about sensitive information. So you would know about your data, you will get into your data, and you will get insights, and you will have the governance control for all of your data sources. So we have been doing this. So what is the change? So we can discover the sensitive information like credit card numbers, ID numbers, or any kind of data sources, the data recognizes that could be sensitive, that has been talked about to us about the regulations like PCI DSS, GDPR, DP, DPA, and others. So what is the difference now is actually we have combined GEODI with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Llama functionalities. So we have integrated solution now with Gemini, Llama, and ChatGPT, which is helping us to identify, and I will talk about the use cases in the next slide. But we are now integrating GEODI Q as a name of the module with LLMs. So the nature, why we need this, because the NLP functionalities, NLP is an AI-based solution as well, but the AI technology as well, but AI and NLP functionalities sometimes limitize, of course, some needs of the customers and needs of the data protection policies. So GEODI helps us actually in our side, helps us to quickly find where the data is, where the sensitive information is. But what if it is more abstract? What if the sensitive data for the company or for the users are actually different from the others? So what could happen on those cases? So we have enabled our solutions with the functionalities of LLM, and we are now transforming the way we manage the data, we protect the data, we search the data, and understand the data. So we are changing the policy on this. And how we are changing it is actually very easy. So GEODI can now use the LLM functionalities and the LLM features as a discovery tool. So how you're doing it? So you know very well, it's very popular that you can create prompts inside of LLM. So you can give, you can define some rules and define some, job descriptions to LLMs, and they will act accordingly. So from now on, GEODI Q integration with ChatGPT, Llama, and Gemini, you can create prompts, and there will be, of course, the default prompts that can identify more abstract data. You will give a job. So you may say that, okay, Chat, you are an interior auditor in my company. Please take a look on the data that can be fraud or forensic, containing some fraud and forensic violation. Or take a look on the data, documents, and identify them and classify them, of course, of the competition violation information, if there is any passing inside of my data repositories while we are scanning. So we can create a recognizer, LLM recognizer, that will supervisedly and a bit promptly understands and identifies more abstract data. So what if you, of course, you can find out the data inside of a content with the GEODI's original recognizers like international bank account numbers, credit card numbers, etc. And also some competition keywords inside as well. But what if the user is creating a document without any keywords or without any information, but it's sensitive, like, for example, security vulnerabilities? So you can identify any kind of prompt in your environment, and you can use it as an internal recognizer. And the GEODI Q, the new recognizer that we have created for fraud and forensic content, will understand, will take a look on the documents, and will say, without any other supervision and without any other help, it will say that, okay, now I can see some files that may be related to fraud and forensic. Please take a look. Or now I'm checking the files. I saw some legal files that are against competition laws. So it's quite, now next level on it. So this is the first time that data discovery live is just, engaging with AI and LLM. So you can define your own rules, and you can use of course, our templates that we have created for sensitive data discovery as an AI element. You can do other stuff like summarization, metadata extraction, identification of critical financial information. If there is no, of course, you can use international bank account number, tax number recognizers on this, but if we are going to do more abstract data that we would like to analyze from, you can definitely, GEODI Q helps you out on this. And also, it's a huge amount of data that analyzes and gives you insight. For example, out of 1 million files, it's just giving you 100 of them that contains competition law violation. So, yes, now we can use the LLM and AI functionalities in data discovery, and it also same procedure that we have in our hands. So we have our data discovery functionalities that can be used on classification, and also you can use GEODI Q, the LLM functionalities, inside of auto classification as well. So you can classify the data with respect to the rules that we have created on LLM. So you can tag them based on LLM capabilities. So now we are also not only introducing the LLM engaged with data discovery, but now we are also, with the help of GEODI's functionalities, we can do it on data classification as well. And also, you can use it on endpoint either. Like the user on the endpoint can say that, let's ask to AI what is this document's classification level. So they can consult to AI, and AI will reply, and this way you will definitely reduce the user errors. And of course, the biggest challenge that the data classification users on your environment, on your customer's environment, is that deciding what type of data that you have in your hand. It's a very huge amount of problem. Meanwhile, I would like to stop here. If there is any questions, please type it down to Q&A session. I would like to answer all the Q&A questions that are coming. Please now start to type down. If there is something passing in your mind, please let us know. So we now talked about the AI discovery, that we can create prompts, and with a prompt supervision, AI will analyze the file and will define the type of the data, and will show you the data type or document type that you are looking for. And then you can use this results as an auto classification rule, and you can turn into an auto classification procedure. So you can use it in the auto classification policy. And much more on this, there is another potential that we have in our hand, is that we can create chatbots out of it. So GEODI is a scanning tool, as you can see, as you know, that it's a search engine, and its index, this index and the files that we are just scanning can be used as a training data to the ChatGPT or Gemini or Llama. So the user can use this data as with a safe way. They can use this content and the data as a training data to the ChatGPT or Llama or Gemini, and it can turn into a local chatbot that they can use from GEODI user interface or from another user interface that you have. We did it for ourselves for the support side. I will show it very fastly. So beyond the GEODI search functionalities and semantic search functionalities, you can use a new type of approach for finding the data and getting insights about the data. So any kind of combined search, and other departments may use it as well. And also internally, the information security guys can use it to take a look on the documents and catch up with the regulations by feeding these files and content into Chatbot. So this is also an additional functionality that GEODI Q has. It may help you out with the information that you have provided, and you can feed this file, this content through GEODI index. And when GEODI scans all the data sources that you have, you can choose the parts that you would like to use as an training data to your LLM. And then create a chatbot, of course, that you can ask questions and get the results. So in total, if we talk about it, we talked about how GEODI Q help you out on how you can use the LLM functionalities inside of your data discovery journey and data classification journey to protect your data. As you would know, it's very important to discover the sensitive information. And as you would know, it's quite important to, after discovering the data, classifying it to prevent the leakage with the DLPs. So it's quite crucial for you to, go on to data and classify it. And we are now managing it with AI. It's possible to put AI and LLM into this functionalities directly. So I would like to show you the chatbot that we have created. We will going to in our support page, you guys can go in SupportQ. You can see that in our face. It's now only the internal team can access of it, but in next weeks we will open up to others as well. If there is any technical people from our partners and customers, you may type down any kind of questions. Let's say type down how can I implement GEODI classifier. And all the data that the chatbot has on the backend has been discovered and scanned by GEODI and fed it to the chat. And all the content that we have in here as a training content is our support page and our frequently asked questions page internally. So as you can see, it just shows you the steps, every step that you need to do, and it shows you how you can implement GEODI classifier into your organization directly. This is a functionality that we are using for internal use or for our partners and customers. But of course, a user may use it internally as well for themselves. So I am seeing some questions coming up. I would like to take a look on those questions and I will answer them very fast. Can you classify databases? We can. I mean, it depends on if you're talking about classifying it. The question is, can you classify databases? Classifying based on its content. We can say that with the GEODI's discovery functionalities. It may say that, okay, there are some sensitive data inside, and you may define some queries like saying that, okay, if the content can be database as well, contains ID number and IBAN number and Ibrahim keyword inside, for example, it's sensitive for me. You can classify it and you can report it in this way, or you can use GEODI Q as well to supervisely create a prompt and classify that files that matches with what I'm just looking for as a content. And but if you mean the tagging it as we are doing it unstructured data, it's not possible to tag the databases, but we can classify it and we can show it in our reports. Okay, there is another question. LLM modules works in offline mode. The offline mode is I can understand from this question that if there is any on-premise way. So as you know, Llama offers an open source LLM as an open source LLM. It just shows you and it works on-premises as well. But ChatGPT and Gemini is definitely on cloud, so you need to use it as open to cloud as well. But you can define. We have 3 options. One of them is on-premise, so you can use it all on-premise as well. What is the server processing for chatbot capabilities? That's a great question. The issue is GEODI is not creating a chatbot. It's not like a chatbot that creates. GEODI's functionalities has been used to create a chatbot more safely and in an anonymized way to data that you have. You are just feeding the chatbot. So it depends on the service that you are using. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Llama. So those things, it's up to you that you would know that if they are just fast enough. Of course, they're quite fast. So it's not like we are just creating a new LLM in your environment. So you are using the service keywords that already been come. How much time will the chatbot enablement take, and will it improve with time or be at full performance since the start? It's a good question. Actually, honestly, the idea is that it depends on you. While you're just creating the chatbot in your service site, service from your service provider, you can define rules. You can say that learn from the questions that has been asked, or you can say that don't answer these kind of questions, or you may say that let me feed you more with some more data as well. Data is not a stopping thing; it's a flowing thing. So it's not from scratch. It will be perfect. It will be perfect enough to use it, and then you can improve it all the time. Chatbot support searching sensitive data directly from GEODI discovery module and data classification module. Chatbot support searching sensitive data directly from GEODI discovery module. No, it's another story. No. It's just not like that. You can still use the existing functionalities of the previous functionalities of GEODI as a search from its user interface. But with GEODI Q, now you can feed some data. If you're old index, yes, it's possible to let chat answer for it. But if you're partially giving some data that has been scanned by GEODI into the chatbot, it will reply you back with everything. But the issue is most of the time feeding that huge amount of data is sometimes makes hallucinations, and it's hard to manage. So the part that you are feeding to the documents and the data that you're feeding to chat will be the answer of it. But it's not like all the data of GEODI all the time will answer for the documents. Can we have the data digital fingerprinting AI learning? Actually, if the fingerprint is in our hand, you can definitely create a prompt on it. So because LLM is self-learning issue, like you're just giving the prompt and you're defining the prompt. It's easy to do it. Let me show you some examples of it very fast. It's actually just like this. I was not planning to open up this part, but now I'm doing it. So you are defining your prompt from GEODI user interface. Of course, there are some ready-to-use ones, but you can use the prompts in our environment as well. Let me just show you very fast. From the project visit, probably some of you guys know that you're defining your data sources, your project templates and stuff. And it's just like you can add your recognizers in here. And from here now we have the functionalities recognized as GEODI Q. So for example, let's just take a look on the document classification, okay? So now we have created a prompt to GEODI Q saying that classify the following content into one of the top 10 important document types for an organization. Assess the document purposes, context, and key phrases to determine its category. If applicable, explain why it belongs to the chosen type. That's great. The categories are strategic documents, financial documents, policy, procedure documents, legal documents, human resources, marketing and sales, customer and vendor records, compliance and audit documents, intellectual property, which is very important, or project documentation. So now when you have a fingerprint, a document in your hand, you can create a prompt of based on that document that you have in your hand, rather than using the old way of fingerprinting, which hash-based, which can, lead you to, false positives and false negatives, because hash is a very sensitive thing. It may change when you change a paragraph, and you cannot understand whether the document understands the data. It cannot recognize if it's similar or not, the document that you have shown as a fingerprint. Rather than that, now you can use AI directly. So I hope this question has been answered as well. There's another question, is LLM additional module? Yes, GEODI Q will be an additional module, yeah. Is this part of license or add-on? Yes, as I said, GEODI Q will be an additional module that we are going to separate from the other modules. Can the system admin see questions that other user asks from Chatbot? Can they see also the username? Yes, they can definitely do that. It depends on the logging settings that you're going to make. It depends on you, but it's possible. Does it search, classify structured and unstructured data? Yes, definitely. It can search, discover, and classify unstructured data, and it can discover, search, and also works on with the GEODI Q on structured data as well. Only issue, as I said, tagging the structured data like databases, it's a problem. It's not working in that way. So I was trying to be quick as possible. In half an hour, I'm trying to finish up. But if there is any other questions, I'm waiting for them. It would be great to answer them all. I already answered some of it, but if there is any other questions about GEODI Q, by the way, please, we will send you, if the people that wants the presentation, we can definitely share the presentation with you guys. The record will be uploaded to YouTube. You can watch it every time afterwards. You can take a look. But please contact us directly to learn more about GEODI Q and to learn more about our system and how we differentiate from other data discovery and classification solutions, which is a quite important thing, that the first time in the world that we are now using as a data discovery solution provider LLM into our solution. Possible show how the GEODI Q helps integrate with the classification module. Maybe we can do it in another session very fastly because I need to go through the tasks and stuff. We have only 3 minutes to go, so please contact us, Masar, directly to us, and we can have a demonstration session to show you how it works. It's actually, to give you an idea, it works like ID recognizer or IBAN recognizer. So it recognizes the documents that you are planning to recognize, and then based on that recognition, you can classify it and use it as an auto classification rule. That's all. And you can use this recognizer in your auto classification, in your auto classification rules and policies. So I try to answer all the questions. If there are any additional ones, we still have a bit of time. Thanks, it's clear. Thank you very much for its clearance. If there is any other questions I would like to ask, thank you again and again for sharing this exciting news with us. It is quite important to have you guys on board to webinar. And thank you very much for your future interest as well. Please let us know if you would interested in, please let us know to have a separate session that we can talk about GEODI Q more, and we can definitely engage more with you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for everything. And thank you for sharing this great news with us together and joining us today. Again, well, it's our honor to show you guys the GEODI Q, the world's first AI and LLM-based data discovery and data classification functionalities. Thank you.